Hi, and welcome to Sue Melville Art. And I just thought I would share with you a little sketch along. So this is a subject of a sketching prompt I did in a 2-minute art hack on how to sketch just using shadow shapes and not drawing outlines. So I thought it would be quite fun to actually do a longer form video. So if you want to sketch along, you can do. And I'm only going to be using 3 things. I'm going to be using Willow charcoal. I use this a lot. Putty rubber, great for kneading and manipulating into different shapes, and kitchen towel for blending. So I'll be doing live sketch-alongs every month on the first Thursday of the month, starting in January 2025, if you'd like to join me. Anyway, let's crack on and I will show you how I sketched this little onion. Right, now I have to, of course, show the video. So let me, this is always good fun. We can kind of try and find things and you're just like, oh, right. Okay, here we go. And I will just put on my little circle camera because I talk with my hands and I want to explain to you what I'm doing. So let me explain exactly what I am doing here. So the way I start is, oh, that's very, oh, there we go. That's a bit better. I'm just squinting. I've got the onion by the side of me because it's nice and easy to just quickly see. And I'm squinting and I'm just using my charcoal to looking for those dark shapes. I'm squinting my eyes, which I do all the time. And I'm just looking at where the base of that onion is a bit darker. And I'm using my kitchen towel just to smudge that around a bit. And that's beginning to give me a basic shape. So this is kind of how it's a really good exercise to do when you're sketching, is to, instead of drawing things and just drawing outlines, to actually sketch the shadow shapes. So I'm looking here now and actually the darkest areas are on the shadow that the onion is creating itself. So again, I'm squinting and I'm just scribbling some shadow shapes. So I'm not drawing lines. I'm not doing an outline of an onion or anything like that. I'm squinting and just looking at my shadow shapes. Things like onions feature a lot in my sketching, mainly because I always have things like fruit and vegetable handy. So it's quite nice to be able to just practice with things that you have around. It doesn't matter what it is. Sketching is about practicing ideas, training your brain. It's like musical scales for instruments. You're wanting to just practice seeing and your hand to get your hand to know what to do for putting on layers and things. And I'm just using my putty rubber there just to pull out some highlights. What you can do is just leave those highlights as white paper. But I find, especially if I'm blending, I like to push and pull those shades around. So putting that charcoal on and then taking it off a bit with the putty rubber. So I'm basically sketching the highlights with the eraser and using my Willow charcoal to put those shadow shapes on. And you've noticed with my eraser as well, that putty rubber, I'm kind of pulling it round in the shape of the onion. So I'm getting a feel of those layers and you notice the stripes that onions have. And they kind of appear as we're putting on the shadow shapes. And it really is a layer up, push and pull and push. Just putting those shadow shapes on, blending and then reiterating and redarkening. And again, Willow charcoal is great for that. And the paper I'm using, it's worth mentioning paper when you use Willow charcoal, because really smooth paper, like super smooth paper, when you do your blending, it kind of takes away everything and it can be quite a difficult medium to use. So this paper is let me find it and I can show you. It's a Strathmore mixed media paper. So it's got a vellum surface, so it's quite a smooth surface, but it's got a little bit of a texture there, so that the charcoal has a little something to hold on to, which is really nice for creating a nice feel to the sketch. And you'll notice as well that I've just put on that a shadow shape underneath, and I've kind of pulled across to give the illusion of that straight edge of my easel that the onion is sitting on. And then again, squinting and just going back with those shadow shapes. This is something actually that I like looking at old masters and new masters as well, as far as how people played with techniques and played with methods and mediums and things. And Henri Matisse did some amazing charcoal sketches of seated women. Oh, my onion has just fallen off. Does that a few times, to be fair. Not the easiest thing to balance on. But yes, going back to Matisse, he did quite a few of these seated ladies, and they were really good because what he did is exactly this technique. He would shade, look for shadow shapes, shade, blend, and then he used the willow charcoal over the top to create some lines to have that really strong definition of human form. So looking at how other artists use the medium is actually really quite nice sometimes, because I'm still just creating form and creating depth using exactly the same technique of applying the charcoal, blending the charcoal, pulling the charcoal back a bit to get the lights, and then reiterating the darks to really begin to get some contrast. And contrast in your sketches and paintings, again, it brings everything to life. It gives you that interest. So although we're only spending, I think this sketch took about 10 to 15 minutes, I'll often spend a lot less, but you still get a really nice feel for the shape and form. And this is, again, without drawing an outline. We're just studying the tones and studying the tonal shape of this onion. And I think it's a really lovely exercise to do. I get very passionate about sketching. I have a sketching club where I send prompts out every week of a suggestion of something to draw, and I always try and make it something that you always have to hand, like a toothbrush, a mug. Again, mugs of tea feature heavily in my sketching. Onions, fruit, vegetables, things that you have to hand, cans of tomatoes, things that you have to hand, because the subject doesn't matter. It's the practicing, getting your eye to notice the observation skills and playing with mediums and enjoying the process, because layering up on this onion, see what I did there? Those onion layers create the picture that kind of emerges, and it gives a really lovely effect. And of course, with a sketch, you're not bothered about perfection. You're not creating a masterpiece. You're wanting to really look at what's happening. How does it feel? And like I say, training your eye to see and training your hand and to trust the process of layering up does create these forms kind of emerge and appear out of that. So we talk about that a bit in the sketching club. Like I say, I send weekly prompts for ideas of things to sketch, and also I drop in little things about like old masters like the Matisse's use of charcoal, potentially Zorn's use of colour, looking at maybe some composition elements. And every month there's a little PDF, a little special where we go a little bit deeper into whether that's a technique, a subject, or a little bit of colour theory. And it's just a nice reminder to just help, a gentle prompt to help you get creating, and hopefully inspires you to carry on and just do these little things in your sketchbook. And the thing with charcoal, which I also really like. And you can do this with ballpoint pens. So I'm going to do some sketch-alongs live on YouTube the first Thursday in every month. I think I mentioned that. But I will be generally using either charcoal or fine liners and just quick 20-minute maximum sketches, maybe add a bit of colour. But things with like a ballpoint pen or charcoal, you can fix it with fixative spray. And then you can maybe drop a little bit of acrylic ink colour in there, and then maybe add some colour in slower time over the top if you want to. And that's the really nice thing of experimenting with your sketchbook, is because that really does mean that you can play and just see how things are working, which again is something I really enjoy doing. Experimenting is how you learn and grow as an artist, and practicing is how you train your eye to see all these things, to be able to execute little sketches, and they do look really effective, in my personal opinion. So I think I'm nearly there. I'm now faffing. The faffing stage can go on a little while, I know. Knowing when to stop, that's a very popular subject because it's easy to kind of overwork. And I do like, in sketching, I will often put a time limit on and just have like a timer on my phone or on a little egg timer, and just, there goes the onion again, and just have that there so that it stops you overworking. And it also means that you're kind of careful of what you can put in, because you only have so much time. So you're going to be really quite careful as to how you execute that. You're going to look for the strengths, those contrasts initially, and that's potentially all you do. So yeah, that's going to be, it's interesting. So I'll do some of that on our live sketch-alongs starting in January. So I think you have to subscribe to be able to comment. So do that, and I think it'll be fun. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much there on this little onion now. So let me turn that off. And you don't want two of me. Let's get rid of that. So I hope that was fun. And if you sketched along, tell me, tag me at Sue Melville Art on your social media, and I'd love to see what you do. And come and join me on a live sketch along. In the first one will be the first Thursday in January, which off the top of my head, I can't tell you exactly what that date is. So I will look quickly now while we're generally talking. Oh, the first Thursday's the 1st. Let's do it the second Thursday. Let's do that the 8th, shall we? So the 8th of January will be the first live sketch along. So come and join me. I hope you found that useful. Come and join the sketching club. It would be great to see you, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.